Hello everyone, my name is Rick Jenkins and I'm the publisher at GSA Business Report, the media company that serves high-level business executives in the upstate of South Carolina. Welcome to SC Biz TV. Thank you for joining us today for episode number 19 in our ongoing video series, Coffee With. Today I'm having coffee with Stephen Davis, the president and CEO at Davis Floyd, a privately owned multidiscipline engineering firm with 5 offices in South Carolina, including Greenwood and Greenville. Welcome, Stephen.
Good to be here, Rick. Thanks for having me.
You came over from Greenwood, didn't you?
I did.
Now, what is that, an hour drive, something like that?
An hour and 10 minutes. Easy.
We were talking before we came in here. My daughter goes to Lander, and so I get up to Greenwood quite often. And before she went to school, I hardly ever got up there. But I love that little town, and I love Greenwood Lake. How about you?
Born and raised in Greenwood. Left for a short stint in college.
Yeah.
And lived in Beaufort for a couple of years, actually about 3 years. And otherwise, Greenwood's home.
Greenwood is home.
Next time you are there visiting your daughter, make sure you come see us.
Man, I would love to. Talking about college, the Citadel, graduated 85,
Correct.
Degree in civil engineering. Have I got that right?
You do.
Tell me about the Citadel, man. Every time that I meet somebody from the Citadel, I'm always like, a little intimidated, to be quite honest with you. Somebody who could go to the Citadel and do that, I could not do it. How did you like it?
My father was smart to send me to a medium security college.
He knew what he was dealing with, right?
No question. No question. After playing 3 sports in high school and not to focus on academics that I later developed at the Citadel.
Right.
I found it to be a unique experience and would do it over again today.
Right.
As a friend of mine has said, you don't have to worry about what time you get up, what you're going to wear, or where you're going to eat.
Because you're told.
Because it's the same ritual every day. So
right.
It was a great experience, and I've remained involved with the college.
Yeah.
Through service on the Citadel Foundation board, and that has been one of the all-time highlights of my my working career and the philanthropy side or the service side, giving back to the college.
So you're over there quite often then.
I was.
Yeah.
I was during a 2-year stint as chairman. Great school, great mission, great team at the Citadel Foundation that today is doing great things for our college.
Well, every time I go to Charleston, I won't say every time. I'll say every 3 times I go to Charleston, the Citadel is one of my stops. I like to go there. They got a great bookstore in there. Mm-hmm. I go in there, and they've always got 50 copies of The Lords of Discipline. And, I just poke around, and great place. But anyway, it's an honor to have a Citadel graduate here, so welcome. Let's talk about Davis Floyd. Founded in 1954 by 2 dudes named Emmett Davis and Phil Floyd, and I'm going to guess Emmett is related to you. How so?
He is my father.
He's your dad.
He is my father. Was my father.
Yeah. Okay. And they started the corporate office in Greenwood. Was it started in Greenwood?
They did.
Okay.
So they were both working together at Greenwood Mills and determined that engineers weren't an end product of the textile industry, and so they borrowed $300, bought a pickup truck and a transit and a level, and began surveying.
Started as a surveying company, and developed close relationships with the contractors that were building many of the facilities for the textile folks in and around the Southeast. Right. And so that's how they got their start in 1954. Got it. Now, you are a multidisciplined engineering firm. You guys do all kinds of stuff, right? Now, you specialize in engineering and planning and landscape architecture, but you do all kinds of stuff. And I want to make sure I got this right, see if I can see.
Make sure I got it right, too.
Yeah, right. Construction engineering, inspection, environmental, industrial, private development, stormwater, transportation, a little bit of everything, yeah?
We do. We have to.
Right.
We're a South Carolina-based firm currently. We've worked up and down the East Coast with the Department of Defense and with clients who will carry us to other locations. But with a focus in South Carolina, we like serving the communities where we live, work, learn, and play. And our folks and our team take great pride in being able to ride their families and their friends by projects that are built and talk about how they participated in that, and how we as a company help shape those communities. So for us, it's natural to want to be South Carolina focused, and it's somewhat selfish in that we want to create better environments where we all live.
150 employees now, correct?
Correct.
And those, again, divided up amongst 5 offices, again, Charleston, Greenville, Greenwood, Columbia.
And Florence.
And Florence. Now, so you got a whole lot of folks, you got 5 offices. Is there some strategy about which office geographically handles what type of thing? How's that work?
So being multidisciplined, each office has some capacity, but obviously we'll have a concentration of a particular talent or skill set in different offices. Columbia, being home to the highway department, is obviously focused on transportation. Greenwood, Florence, and our North Charleston office have capacity to do a lot of the basic engineering design work. So I would say they're more multidisciplined, and Greenville's the same way.
Right. Employees, where most of them sit, the biggest majority? I mean, are they
our
evenly
highest,
spread? Or?
I believe that our largest office may be right now Charleston because of the growth in that area.
Right.
Followed by Greenwood, our global headquarters.
Right. The global headquarters.
Global headquarters.
That's right. I love it when we say global. But Greenwood being the smallest of the towns, but it has the most folks just because you sit there and that's where you want them, right?
You know, we take pride in being able to talk about being a large engineering firm in a small town.
Yeah, right.
And because many of the communities where we want to come alongside the leadership of those towns, the municipalities, wherever our client is where we want to serve them. And a lot of those are in small towns like Greenwood, or a lot smaller. Yeah. And so we take pride in that, and it gives a lot of folks room for you're based in Greenwood?
Right.
We sure are.
You mean Greenville?
Right. Get that a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
We like that we're still headquartered where we were founded.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm sure your dad would like that too, right?
He yeah. I mean, and for generations or for decades, he and Mr. Floyd would go and work all over the Southeast, but come home to roost in Greenwood.
Right. Let's switch gears and talk about Habersham. Quite the unique, interesting community over in the Low Country. Where is it located? It's in
right outside of Beaufort.
Beaufort, right? Okay. And now this community has been around for a quarter century, 25 years. You all have been involved with it from the very beginning. Now we're talking an award-winning community. Coastal Living Magazine, I believe, named it one of the top 20 places to live in the country on the coast. Tell us about it and how you all are involved.
So part of what we do is private development. And early on in my career, when I came back to work in 1986, I believe the folks responsible for giving me assignments figured out pretty quickly we need to get Stephen out of water and wastewater design and get him in the field. And so I got assigned working with some big pieces of property in the Low Country, particularly Brays Island Plantation and Spring Island, both in Beaufort County, both unique endeavors. And here I am, a very young engineer, cast into this pool of the most talented land planners and developers that the Southeast had, and particularly at Spring Island with Jim Chafin and Jim Light, who had come out of Charles Frazier's Sea Pines and creating place there. They were developing Spring Island, and through the course of being the project engineer, Jim Chafin told my father, he said, Emmett, I think Stephen likes this development creativity,
right?
And he's going to want to develop something one day. And I met Bob Turner, my partner at Habersham, while working at Spring Island, and ultimately we found a piece of property and said, let's create a new urbanist or a traditional neighborhood. And 25 years later, I mean, we've gone through some tough times in those 25 years,
right?
But we also created a place that we can take a lot of pride in, that 700 or 800 people call home.
Yeah.
And they call home because
is it that
great.
Many?
It is. It's a small town.
Right. If I drive into Habersham, what do I see? I've not been there, unfortunately.
You'll see a main street that's very inviting. You'll see great architecture. You'll see a site that is very natural. And so our engineering team learned early on, and I would put them up against anybody in the Southeast relative to their understanding of creating new old places and treading lightly on the land. So preservation of trees and character was a large part of what we did there.
Switch gears again. I've heard you say again that you are dedicated to solving technical solutions, but not only technical solutions. Sometimes, as we all know, when you're involved in a project and somebody is involved in that project, sometimes fundraising is an issue, right? Getting those dollars can sometimes also be challenging and present situations where you have to come up with creative solutions. Tell me about that. I would assume you have to deal with that often as well.
We do. Our team has to understand the various funding mechanisms that may exist in support of the municipalities or the entities that we're working with, and particularly on the local, state, and federal side. So we put a lot of energy into identifying how we can help, particularly smaller communities that may not have staff enough to be as well versed as our team is, in identifying how we can both, there's a need and there's got to be a funding mechanism to meet that need. So the more understanding we have of that and integration into how that works, the better we can serve the communities that we're wanting to help.
Right. Let's look to the future here. So I'm going to ask you to look in your crystal ball, and 5 to 10 years from now, you were founded in 1954, which was 60-some years ago. What was
67,
it?
68.
67 or so years ago. Let's look into our crystal ball, and when you're 75 years old, 3/4 of a century, what is Davis and Floyd going to look like then?
We are still going to be a preeminent engineering firm in South Carolina.
I bet you're still going to be headquartered in Greenwood.
Global headquarters will continue to be in Greenwood.
Yeah.
We will have expanded outside of the state.
Mm-hmm.
We will continue to grow our team through great internship programs and great cooperative programs, which have become very paramount in learning where the talent is and letting the talent learn that they want to become part of our team. We will have expanded our services. In what ways, I'm not sure yet, but we will certainly have expanded the things that we do and the clients that we serve. And a lot of that will start what we stood up recently as, Davis and Floyd was seen as a heavy transportation civil firm. We have a team of really good, young, dynamic land planners, and we created the DF, or Davis and Floyd Planscape Studio, which is really a combination of planning and landscape architecture. Every project starts with a plan, and this is a way to soften how so many people may look at Davis and Floyd and integrate us into cities like Greenville, park design,
right.
Creating places where people want to be. And that is how, in the future, that 5 to 10 years, we will have made an additional impact and become more integrated and involved with projects early on.
Right. Might you have an additional office somewhere?
We will have offices.
Where do you think it will be? We will have established offices in coastal plains because that's where I want to be. Oh, well, and you can probably make that decision. So good for you.
I do.
Coastal plains.
I will seek counsel from myself and see where we may want to land. But
right.
we'll continue to be a dynamic firm and make an impact in South Carolina and surrounding states, working with a great team that's serving great clients.
I'm sure you will. I always get people out of here on this last question, and it is the University of South Carolina or Clemson. Tell me which.
Which for what? For football?
Who?
That's easy.
Okay, who?
Clemson.
Clemson. Okay, all right. So on Saturdays when they're playing, that's who you're rooting for, the Clemson.
Well, I've had 2 boys at Clemson.
Okay,
and
well,
I have one still there.
That's.
And then we're about an hour and 15 minutes away. Heavy
Right.
Clemson firm.
Yeah.
Well, and I get to hear everything I want to know about Clemson around the coffee pot first thing Monday morning.
I'm sure you can. And if the boys graduated from there, it is completely logical that that's where your loyalties lie. I mean, come on, right?
Well, I'll let them duke it out. Thank goodness for that rivalry. I'll just stick to my medium security college roots down at the Citadel.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Stephen, I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, Rick, thank you for having me. We appreciate the opportunity to tell our story a little bit.
It's a good story.
I'm excited about what you've been doing and the great work y'all have done.
Well, thank you. Folks, that is Stephen Davis. He is the president and CEO at Davis Floyd, multidisciplinary engineering firm headquartered, global headquarters in Greenwood, South Carolina. Stick around on SC Biz TV. See if there's anything else you like. Subscribe to our channel. Like this video. See you next time.